Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday number 72. Demonize the device or honor the jewel. Question. Last week you spoke about the silence, that silence is God's voice, and you gave a suggestion to take time away from devices to hear the silence. You also led a meditation on listening to the sound of silence. Thank you for this. But a question arises around oneness. If God is everywhere, why do you suggest we take time away from our devices? Isn't the device, the internet, which serves us to access even more spiritual sources, also within the oneness of God? I could take your point saying the device is the devil. Are you demonizing the device? Well, thank you. That is a perfect question, and I'm so glad you are asking this question because it gives me an opportunity to draw out a very important, crucial point of distinction. It's called mixing levels of awareness, which this mixture keeps us bound in suffering because we are missing the jewel. Okay. So we have silence and we have all the sounds, the information, all the stuff that's coming in through our sense doors and inundating us. We have all of that. We have silence and then we have all the information coming in. Silence is the source. Silence is the example of God's voice, we could say. There's all the stuff that God will say, but what's his voice? So can you understand this distinction? In India, there's a really good example that they use the cow as an example of God. For instance, like every aspect of the cow is used. Like the cow can produce milk, and out of the milk comes, butter and yogurt and ghee, and various products can come out of the cow. But the cow also produces cow dung. Now in this case, because we're talking about distinction, would you eat cow dung like you drink the milk? No? Why not? If the cow is all providing, and if the cow is all one, why wouldn't you eat the cow dung? Well, okay, so that's the example. So in this case, okay, so we need to bring out another very important point that is in yoga's language. You use the word viyoging, and viyog is your viyoging from the sun yoga. So sun yoga is the mixture of the pure I with the ego I. So the eternal I and the ego I. The real, the thing that's most real and most precious, from the unreal, the illusion. So this mixture is called Sun Yoga. V-Yoga is separating ourselves from this mixture. So if we're already established as the mixture, then we need to separate ourselves. So then we are V-Yoging. Once you V-Yoga completely, and you know what's pure and precious, like the jewel, and you know what the stuff is, then when you focus on the real, then you get lit up. Your life becomes full of love. It becomes precious. You're filled with this joy and this completion and this fulfillment that you don't get when you're mixed up, because you don't recognize the beauty, the true part in amongst all the other stuff. So that's why we do this process called Viyog, separating, discerning. Thoughts are like cow dung. So they're useful. They're useful in everyday life. But remember that thoughts is not awareness. So there's the gap between the two thoughts, that space. You have a thought, and there's a space between the thoughts. That's called awareness. Thoughts are future and past, but it's not the present moment. When you're thinking, you cannot think the present moment. So you need to know this distinction, that awareness is not a thought. Milk is not cow dung. Silence is not the stuff produced from your device. So it's getting that really, really fine distinction. More and more discernment is needed. Discernment is the practice of the yogi, the one who, or anyone who wants the true oneness, who wants to experience and experience true oneness. And you will remain unhappy and unfulfilled if you don't get really clear about this distinction. You have to see the jewel as being something special. It has to be special for you. And it is special, like you want to be, so that you can see it in amongst all the other metals. You recognize the jewel, right? It's sparkling, it's beautiful, it lights you up, right? But it's the mixture, the confusion, that makes you unhappy. So you need to draw it out. You need to focus on it. You need to see it. You need to love it. You need to spend time with it. You need to acknowledge it. You need to honor it. This is what we need to do with the jewel. And I say it's the silence we need to honor it. When you do, then life becomes beautiful. And so the point here is you don't need to demonize the device in order to receive the fulfillment of the jewel. All you need to do is focus on the jewel, and the jewel itself will bring you alive. When you focus on the jewel, life will be your fulfillment. And you will understand that the device is a poor substitute for God's presence. Instead of, because it's a product of it, but does it take you to? Is it the pure part? Like, yes, maybe it takes you to, but is it the pure part? Are you focusing on God's products, or are you focusing on God? That's the difference here. So when you do, you will feel your complete fulfillment once you know this distinction. So, no, you don't need to demonize your device. All you need to do is honor the jewel. That's it for today's Wisdom Wednesday. See you next Wednesday. Bye.